Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Hadley, Chief of the Chatham County Police Department. Yesterday evening, around 6:30 p.m., Chatham County Police Department was dispatched to the Kroger on Ogeechee Road relative to a sexual assault. Upon our arrival, it was determined that a young female, adult female, mind you, was sexually assaulted inside the Kroger, inside one of the restrooms or the ladies' restrooms inside the Kroger. She yelled out and screamed, alerted some employees and customers of the Kroger. A male subject was seen fleeing from the area. Thankfully, these employees and citizens chased after this individual, and he was detained down by the Ace Hardware. Chatham County Police Department made the scene, and through its initial investigation, they made an arrest on a Gregory Hathorn, 25-year-old male that lives in the Savannah area.
Do you know about how many people actually chased this man, out of the grocery store?
I don't have the exact number. I know it was probably between 2 and 3. It was more than one. And I just can't commend them enough for involving themselves in a dangerous situation, obviously, so this person could be, held accountable and we could make an arrest so there wasn't any further danger to the community in Chatham County. So we're very thankful for that.
Can you talk a little bit about the public nature of this incident? I mean, this is a Kroger where a lot of people are shopping at 6:30 at night.
Absolutely. This is this doesn't happen often. Obviously, it's an open marketplace. People come and go all the time, and so for something like this to take place inside a restroom, in which many people may come and go throughout the day, is quite alarming. Quite frankly.
Are there concerns what should people know, or any advice for people who are concerned about this incident and kind of raising red flags now?
Yeah, this isn't an incident, obviously, that we haven't seen a series of these things. I think it's an isolated incident. Generally that area out there is very safe. It's very well lit. Kroger is always great to work with, and I know in dealing with them over the years that I've been here, they take great care in their customers and their business. So as alarming as it was, I'm thankful that we were able to make an arrest, and I don't feel there's any further danger or anyone should be concerned about going there and shopping.
Do you have any details about what happened before the incident? Like, how did he get a hold of him?
I don't have that level of detail right now. Obviously, it's still an ongoing investigation. I'm sure the detectives are busy securing video footage from the Kroger, from the parking lot, from the interior of Kroger. Once we're able to, get that, download it, review it, and put it together in the case, we'll get to know a little bit more relative to, what happened right before he entered the restroom.
Was this a women's bathroom or a unisex bathroom?
It was a women's restroom.
Do you know if he was waiting in a cell from day?
I don't believe so. I don't know that for sure, but I don't believe so. It's my understanding that he had followed her in there. She was in there by herself, and then he had went in.
And when our officers actually arrived on the scene, I know, based on his description, he was a big guy. These are 3 or 4 people, holding him down. It seems like it would probably be sort of a chaotic scene. So can you kind of talk about what that was like when they actually responded and how they interacted with the people who actually detained him?
Yeah, I haven't talked to them personally, but I can probably make some assumptions relative to that. Obviously they're going to make the scene, they're going to make contact with, the first folks out there visible. Obviously they probably observed they had somebody in custody. They probably split up, some officers staying right there at the Kroger and others going down to the Ace Hardware to secure the person that they had detained so he wasn't in any further danger. Obviously they're not police officers. I would imagine they didn't have handcuffs on them or anything like that. Just trying to bring some calm to a chaotic situation as you described, and then get into the the preliminary details about what occurred, how they need to take the investigation going forward. Who do they need to call out? Detectives, crime scene. Obviously the bathroom was a crime scene, so they had to process that. and first and foremost, take care of the victim. I mean, obviously this is a traumatic event for this to happen to anybody, and we wanted to make sure that, you know, she was safe, and we're able to calm her down, and then we could, you know, then be able to, you know, solicit information from her so we could move forward with the report and the arrest.
Do you know the condition of the victim? Was she taken to the hospital?
I don't believe she was hospitalized. Obviously, we have certain protocols around sexual assault victims in terms of sexual assault treatment center, rape crisis center, things of that nature. But I don't believe she was physically injured, but certainly emotionally, very traumatic event for her.
Can you talk a little bit about the suspect? You said he lived in the area. Has he had a prior past of any sexual assault or anything along those lines?
Not to our knowledge. We don't believe he's been in Savannah very long. We're still trying to get some details on him and his background, but he has very little history here in Savannah, and we believe he hasn't been here very long, but we're still trying to verify some of those facts.
And can we confirm that the victim and the perpetrator had no relationship before that, or is it still...
That's my understanding. They did not know each other. They had no prior contact, as far as I know.
When it comes to, you know, citizens actually detaining a suspect, I know in a lot of cases you know, advise the community to not approach and call 911. In this particular situation, it worked out.
Yes, it did.
But going forward, what is your advice to someone in or witnesses in that kind of situation?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's kind of a it's kind of a double-edged sword for us. Certainly, we welcome, you know, in this instance specifically, that they were able to detain someone without any injury to themselves, and then we were able to keep the public safe from this individual. Generically, I would always advise to call us, let us be law enforcement, because I would hate to see somebody get injured and hurt by trying to make a detainment, or I wouldn't say necessarily an arrest on their own, but it worked out. As you said, it worked out this time. We're very thankful for those citizens. That was very brave of them to do that. You know, oftentimes we see a lot of people stand around with a phone and film something, but they won't intervene. And so we're very thankful for that, and I have the intention of getting their names and reaching out to them personally just to thank them, you know, on behalf of Chatham County for their heroism. So.
And of course, there's been an arrest, but what's next in this investigation? I know you said you were kind of gathering some, you know, security footage and things like that. So just kind of walk us through what's next.
So, obviously, we're going to gather all the evidence that we can. We will work in conjunction with the DA's office in terms of, you know, seek some guidance and some things that they may want us to do for the investigation. Obviously, we had the victim was looked at from a medical perspective. There may have been some evidence that we were able to obtain from her clothing, things of that nature. We'll put all that together, get it to the DA's office so they can arraign Mr. Hadley. So.
He's facing 2 felony charges and then 1 misdemeanor, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk a little bit for people in the public who are going to see this story tonight and maybe feel on alarm or on alert? What's your advice for them when they are out and about and kind of going about their daily activities?
Yeah, I mean, I think we all need to be vigilant in terms of being aware of our surroundings. I mean, we all kind of, you know, we get focused. I'm going to the store. I'm running in the subway to get a sub, and a lot of us are on our phone, you know, looking at our phone and not really necessarily paying attention to our surroundings. So I would always suggest that, you know, just a little heightened level of awareness, you know, understanding your surroundings, who's close to you, where you park, you know, do you have your keys in your hand, or can you know, unlock your vehicle before you get there. Most of us have remote or keyless entry and things of that nature, so that helps a little bit better than trying to stick a key in an old school. I'm old, so I remember those days. But I think just having a heightened sense of awareness is really the best advice that I can get. Maybe get off your phone as much as you are. We're all guilty of it, you know, we all consider and say we are, but just trying to be aware. But in this instance, I mean, you're in a Kroger shopping center, well lit, a lot of people there, a lot of people around. You know, it would be, this is just such an isolated incident that, and the victim was, you know, using the restroom like any normal everyday citizen. So it's just unfortunate, but we're glad that we're able to make an arrest, and again, thankful to the citizens that were able to help us out.
Can you speak to, obviously this is an incident you mentioned isolated at this time. What exactly goes into investigating something like this where you have that person who obviously was stopped, but what, along those lines of the next steps, what actually takes place from here on out?
Well, again, we submit the clothing or any medical evidence that we were able to obtain from the victim. That's going to go. There's going to be lab tests that occur on that type of evidence, and we'll wait for those lab results. Certainly, we'll take all the body camera footage from the officers. We'll interview those that intervened. We'll interview management. Certainly, we have the victim that we'll get information from. We'll piece all that together based on statements and putting together a probable cause affidavits, and then that'll get submitted to the DA's office, and we'll move forward from there.
Do you think there'll be any change in protocol at Kroger or any extra security, kind of that stuff moving forward?
I don't think so. I mean, what we do try to do, just from a presence perspective, obviously this occurred, just try to be a little more present over there in the area. We're over there quite a bit. There's a lot of activity that goes on, just meaning people coming and going. And so just so, maybe over the next few days that, we're over there a little bit more than we normally are, so people have a little bit more assurance that we're there and they feel a little safer.
So I just want to confirm if you said, because it wasn't mentioned in the release, that the victim was using the restroom before that?
Yes, ma'am.
And it's no minors involved?
It's not a minor, no. It's an adult female. I think maybe somebody said there was maybe something on Facebook that it was a juvenile. It's not a juvenile.